Welcome to our 12th lecture, and this lecture is based on types of distance relay. In last lecture we have seen distance relaying scheme and how the distance relay operates. In that we have seen as distance relay it requires two operating quantity, voltage as well as current. Okay, current from current transformer, voltage from potential transformer, and that is given to the relay. This relay is called as distance relay because it measures V and I. V and I means if you take the ratio of voltage and current, it is Z, and Z contains R plus Jx resistance as well as inductance. So this relay is called as distance relay. It measures impedance. Okay, it measures impedance. In last lecture we have seen reach of the relay, what is under reach, what is over reach. This already we have seen. Now we will switch over to the next types of distance relay. The discrimination of fault condition against heavy load and such other conditions when the relay is not required to operate requires the measurement of not only the magnitude but also angle of impedance of the line up to the fault point. Many types of distance relay have therefore been developed and applied for line protection. Impedance relay, that relays are impedance relay, reactance relay, mho or admittance relay, ohm or angle impedance relay, offset mho relay, quadrilateral and other special characteristics relay. Now we will see one by one. Out of these, impedance relay, reactance relay and mho relay are the important relay. This distance relay respond to phasor ratio of input voltage and input current to the relay. They are directional. Some relays are not directional relay, but they can be made directional because we require a directional feature of the distance relay. They have high speed. They are used to protect transmission line, short transmission line, medium transmission and long transmission line. They have usually induction cup design. Now we will see construction of the distance relay. They have usually induction cup design. This is induction cup structure. In our first lecture we have seen this two poles have polarizing quantity, while these two poles, one have operating coil that is from current transformer, while restraining coil get voltage from the potential transformer. Okay, this is our induction cup type construction. Now as impedance relay have voltage as well as current. Okay, impedance means R plus Jx. So we can plot the characteristics on Rx plane. This is our relay location. This is CT. This is PT. It is given to the relay. This is our remote end. Relay is located here. This is the transmission line to be protected. On Rx plane, will plot resistance on x-axis and reactance on, or this will plot reactance on this y-axis. Okay, R plus Jx. Okay, so this is angle theta. Okay, so this is R plus Jx. Now this indicates a remote end. This is our relay location. This is our remote end. The fault in between this relay location and remote end is seen by the relay, and the relay will operate. Okay. Now we'll see distance relay operation. As I told, this relay is directional relay, means even though if it is not directional, we purposely make it directional because we want the relay should see only forward directional fault. The relay should not see the relay should not operate for the fault behind behind which it is located. Okay, suppose relay located is here and fault is here, the relay should not operate for this fault. Okay, relay is located here, the relay will operate for only forward direction fault. For reverse direction fault, the relay will not operate. So we want a directional feature of the relay. Now we can see on Rx plane, this is plus R, this is plus X, this is minus X, this is minus R. Okay, no, so for forward direction, that means plus R and plus X, the relay will operate. For plus R and minus X means capacitive fault. For these again, as this system, for this system the relay will operate, but we want the relay to operate in this region only. Tripping direction is only in this direction, forward direction. For this backward reverse fault, the relay should not operate. It is non-trip direction. It is non-trip direction. That means relay operation is only in first quadrant. So for third quadrant, the relay will not operate, as fault path line will pass through 0 and it goes like this. So this is our operating region, this is our restraining region. The relay should not operate for this fault in this region. Now we'll see trip law for different types of relay. First we'll see impedance relay. Trip law for simple impedance relay using universal torque equation. This as universal torque equation means this equation is applicable to all types of relay. This equation remains same. This equation remains same. Only this K1, K2, K3 changes. Okay. T is equal to K1 I square plus K2 V square plus K3 V into I into cos of theta minus tau plus K4. This is K4 is spring constant, so we are neglecting, we are considering only K1, K2 and K3. In impedance relay, the trip law for impedance relay considering this universal torque equation is Z seen is less than Z set. Z set is the set value. Suppose this is our set value. Okay, so Z seen, fault at this point, fault at this point, fault at this point. That means fault seen by the relay is if it is less than this set value. This is our remote and this is our set value. If fault is in between this, that means this Z1, suppose this is Z1 fault, Z2, Z3, that means fault Z seen less than this Z set, the relay will operate. Now we'll see Z seen is less than Z set, then it trips, else restrain. Now we'll see universal torque equation of the impedance relay. As I told, K1 I square minus K2 V square plus K3. K1 plus K2 plus K3. As this is K1 I square is operating quantity, V is restraining quantity, so minus is applied here. Okay, K1 I square minus K2 V square. This K3 is very small, so we are neglecting. Okay, operating quantity K1 I square, restraining quantity K2 V square, K3 is very small, so we are neglecting. I and V are RMS quantities. Now at balance point, K1 I square is equal to K2 V square, V square by I square is equal to K1 square by K2 square. So V by I is under root of this K1 by K2. Okay, this is called K is under root of K1 by K2, which is constant, that is Z. That is Z, that is our Z set. That is our Z set. Okay. So for operation, definitely operating quantities should be greater than the restraining quantity. So K1 I square greater than K2 V square. So definitely if you reverse this, then V by I is less than, V by I is our V by I is our Z seen. Less than this, under root K1 by K2, under root by K1 by K2 is constant. This is set value. Suppose we have 400 kilometer transmission line, and for 400 kilometer transmission line, if we are having 400 ohm impedance, then that 400 impedance is considered as the K. Now fault, if suppose fault in between that 400 kilometer transmission line, then that fault impedance, definitely if it is less than the 400 ohm, the relay will operate. So if Z seen is less than the Z set, the relay will operate. Now how can you draw the characteristics of impedance relay on are explained as this indicates what Z is equal to under root x square plus r square. Z is equal to under root x square plus r square, or r square plus x square. It is equation of what? Describes a circle. So operating region inside the circle while restraining region outside the circle. Where if suppose fault is in this region, if suppose fault is in this region, the relay will operate. Fault outside this circle, the relay will not operate. Operating region is inside the circle. But as you can see, these characteristics cover 1, 2, 3, 4, all 4 quadrant. So this relay is non-directional relay because it checks or it see the fault in a reverse direction also. So we require directional features in the impedance relay. Okay, so we require additional directional unit in this. Characteristics of impedance relay: outside region is non-operating region, negative torque region. Inside it is operating region. It is non-directional. It responds to the fault on both sides of CT VT location, that is forward first quadrant and reverse direction third quadrant. As this covers all four quadrants, so this relay is a non-directional relay, but we have to make it directional using directional unit. Okay, that directional unit is this. This directional unit is called as angle impedance relay. Okay, so that we'll see. So this is our directional unit. Now this relay will see only positive direction fault. Now second characteristics, again using universal torque equation. Now here operating quantity is V I cos of theta minus tau. Restraining quantity again V. Okay, operating quantity is directional relay. Restraining quantity K2 V square. Okay, and V are RMS quantities. Tau is maximum torque angle. At balance point K1 Vi cos of theta minus tau is equal to K2 V square. So if you solve this, you will get Z is equal to V by K of cos of theta minus tau. Okay, Z is equal to, again you will get Z is equal to V by I. That means we have to measure again voltage and current. K is cos of theta minus tau. Cos of theta minus tau. And operation. So this operating quantity is greater than the restraining quantity. Voltage is the restraining quantity. Here we will get Z. This Z seen. If suppose Z is Z seen, or this Z is your 1 by Z is equal to Y. 1 by Z is equal to Y. Okay. So this, if you consider this V by I or I by V, then it will be 1 by K cos of theta minus tau. So this will be if Z is less than this K cos of theta minus tau, the relay will operate. Now this is our admittance, either V by I or I by V. Okay, so the relay will operate. R is equal to Z cos theta, X is equal to Z sin theta. Okay, so now this characteristics we can plot and are explained is again a circle, but this circle is passing through origin. Okay, now here you can see it covers first quadrant. So it is which type of relay? It is a directional relay. Okay, now angle impedance relay. Here operating quantity is current while restraining quantity is this minus k2 v into I into cos of theta minus tau. If you solve this, you will get z cos of theta minus tau is equal to k. So this is our tau. Okay, this is on Rx plane. You can plot this, and this characteristics as we have seen. This is our angle impedance relay. Okay, if you change the tau, you will get shifting of this line. This relay will not operate. This will not operate alone. We have to combine with any of the relay, either impedance relay or reactance relay. More relay is inherently a directional relay because it covers only first quadrant. Okay, it covers only first quadrant. Now we'll see third relay, that is strip law for simple reactance relay using universal torque equation. Again we'll see, consider universal torque equation. Here x seen is less than the x set. Now you have to solve this. Angle impedance relay with tau. Why tau is equal to 90? Why tau is equal to 90? Because it is reactance. Reactance means x. So what is absent? In z is equal to r plus jx. What is absent? R is absent. So reactance means that tau is equal to 90 degrees. So that we have to put here. At balance point, this is z of cos of theta minus 90 means z sin theta is equal to z sin theta is x. So that's why it's called as reactance relay. Now how you can plot the characteristics of reactance relay? On Rx plane. It is parallel to R. This is x is set value of impedance. This line is shifting on y-axis. Okay, operating region below this line. Operating region below is this line and restraining region above this line. As this characteristics cover all four quadrants 1, 2, 3, 4. So this relay is non-directional relay. So we require additional directional unit. Okay, directional property exhibited by reactance relay. We have to use directional relay. This is our directional relay. Operating region below this line. This forward path only. Okay, this is line reverse path. So in third quadrant the relay should not operate. Either here we are using angle impedance relay, either we can use Moore relay also. In some cases we are using Moore relay also. Types of distance relay. The conventional representation of operating characteristics of these relay on Rx plane, impedance plane, polar characteristics along with their positive torque region and negative torque region is shown in next slide. Impedance relay requires separate directional unit. As we have seen, impedance relay is non-directional relay, so it requires separate directional unit. To reduce the effect of resistance component of an arc on the reach of the relay characteristics angle of directional element is made smaller than the line angle. There is possibility of mal-operation of the reactance element because of the power swing of the loading condition. Hence, to overcome the mal-operation, a fault detector unit is used in conjunction with the reactance element. Moreover, separate directional element is also required to prevent the mal-operation of this unit in case of reverse fault. So we require directional unit. Okay, now in next lecture we will see what is the effect of this arc resistance on the different types of relay. Okay, because the relay will mal operate for different condition because of underreach and overreach. Okay, that we'll see. Okay, now we'll see these different types of relay. This is our which relay? Impedance relay. This is a reactance relay. This is a mho relay. This is offset mho. You can check this is shifted. If reverse offset and forward, if suppose in forward offset this circle will be shifted up, in reverse offset the circle will be shifted down. This is angle admittance relay, angle impedance relay or Ohm relay. Okay, this is directional unit. This will always added in the non-directional element relay. Okay, now this is quadrilateral relay. Mho elements are inherently directional and no separate directional unit is required. However, mho element cannot incorporate the value of fault resistance. This we'll see next lecture. Hence, the practical field in quadrilateral element is widely used, which incorporates a reasonable value of fault resistance. Normally, the first and the second zone elements are of mho type and third zone element is offset mho type. First two elements are mho type and third element are offset mho. That we'll see in this lecture. The function of zone 3 is to provide backup protection in case of relay or a breaker in the next bus section fails to clear a fault. We have three zones protection: first zone, second zone, third zone. In last lecture we have seen we have first zone 80%, second zone 40 to 50%, and third zone is backup protection. So first zone we know we are protecting only 80% of the part. Why we are protecting 80% of the part? This you know. In last lecture we have covered this. Due to two concepts, underreach and overreach, we are protecting only 80% of the part. Okay. The function of zone 3 is to provide backup protection in case of relay or the breaker in the next bus section fails to clear the fault. Inaccuracy due to the loads and a power in feeds were worse with zone 3 because there are two buses between the relay and the cutoff point of the relay. Okay, this will see. Overreaching can cause the third zone unit to trip undesirably for a fault on the other side of the large distribution transformer. Further, if the setting is too large, the third zone unit becomes susceptible to operation on the power swing. In next lecture, we will see what is the effect of power swing on operation of the relays, effect of arc resistance and effect of power swing. Okay, there I will explain this in detail. In addition, the discrimination between faults and loads becomes poor. Therefore, at certain lines, the recent practice is to omit the third zone of the distance relay and use only two zones of the distance element. So, as the third zone protection is complex because there we have to protect earlier two lines protection and third, and 20% of our third line. So we have to protect complete three lines. So this have complex protection. So generally we are using two zones of distance element. Now 3-step distance protection. Look here. This is instantaneous protection. The second zone is 40 to 50% of the next transmission line, and third, as you can see, this third zone is protecting this line as well as this line. This third protection is providing backup to these two lines. Okay, now instantaneous, this is minimum operating time. This have certain delayed time, additional time delay is added. This backup, again additional time delay is added. Now 3-step distance protection: zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, Z1, Z2, Z3. This is instantaneous operation. Adjacent next line for 80% of the transmission. This is A to B section. We are protecting only 80% part. 40 to 50% of the next transmission line, and then again 20 remain. This is 40 to 50% means 60% of this transmission line, and next 40% or next 20% of the next transmission line. So this is our third zone. Now this characteristic, either we are using impedance relay As we have seen, we have three important relay: impedance relay, reactance relay, and Moore relay. So Moore relay, we'll see three-step distance protection using Moore relay. Now this is our first zone, this is our second zone, and this is third zone. On RX plane, this we can see Z1, Z2, this is our fault path line. Okay. Now similarly, you have to draw for impedance as well as reactance, and that you have to tell me in our live WebEx lecture. Okay. This is your homework. Draw three-step distance protection characteristics using impedance and reactance relay. Okay. That we'll see in our live WebEx lecture. Okay. So you have to prepare with it. Okay. Thank you.